So I got a machine with a bunch of miles on it. It was swamped. The clutch packed up. People kept trying to drive it, and eventually they smoked the wet clutch out of it. So when you take your backing plate off, it's just a bunch of 10s behind the primary, secondary. And then you're going to take all the 10s off of this case here. You could see how burnt the clutch bell is. So we're going to replace everything. The bolt, you know, the one-way bearing, the clutch, the wet clutch, the one-way bearing, the clutch bell. It comes with a new shaft for the primary. All the seals, everything. Super, super, super important. This is left-handed threads. So when you take that off, it's backwards. So other than that, it's a quick job actually. Once you get to your clutches, it's only another probably 10 minutes to get this thing off. There is a pry point down at the bottom down here, so you can get like a little indexing pry bar in there, and this is what we use, just a little pry bar that you can set different angles, and it gives you a little lip on that outer face, and you could just pop it off and oil will run out. So if you don't want to make a mess like this, you could drain the case beforehand. To us, it doesn't really matter. We got drain pans and stuff under it anyway. Just make sure that surface is super clean. It's going to be a new gasket, goes back on, and this thing will be ready to run here in the next 20-30 minutes. So you're gonna take this off backwards, so like you're in Titan mode. We've already loosened it. It doesn't come off that simple. Pull the bolt. It's gonna be oil all over the bolt. And grab your wet clutch, and it just slides right off. So that's the wet clutch. So just like a wet clutch on a dirt bike or whatever, your wet clutch should soak in oil. We soak them a couple hours. I don't really know what Yamaha says, but just soak them in there for a couple hours before you put it in. That lets the oil get in between all the friction material and everything. Now, the book doesn't say that you have to replace this bearing, but to me, to take this thing all the way apart and not replace that bearing is foolish. So we have a new bearing. We're going to pop that in. New clip on it as well. You know, when you get this far into it, it doesn't make sense to not just replace everything. That way, you know, even a small issue. You know, this machine has almost 7,000 miles on it. And you could definitely see a little bit of wear in the bearing. So you install the two bearings, the bearing down here, and then the one-way bearing. Make sure the outside is facing the inside of the clutch bell there. And then you need this part number. That's going to be the seal. And that goes down over top of the one-way bearing. It looks just like this. It's going to go with the bumps up, just like that. And a seal driver just taps it in real easy. Just get yourself a seal driver. I think this is a 63. Might go up to 65 for it. Maybe we'll, you just want to kind of cover it. So 72 definitely does. And then just tap that down and it'll set. And then you're ready to put it back into the housing, which is here. You should have the gasket material all prepped, new bearing and snap ring in there. gasket and put it all back together. Then you stick the clutch bell through the housing, flip it over. New clip is going to go on here. And a new seal. And it'll be ready to put back together with your new gasket.